everyone, it's HBIC and Bologna. We're back for another edition of Bourbon Bums Reviews. We got a different one today, not a bourbon.
Not a bourbon, Canadian whiskey, found north. Something that, what do you say, within the last year and a half, maybe last year, super hyped. I know their last batch before this won a bunch of awards. Big time hype coming out of Canadian whiskey, which is something I don't really dabble with all that much.
Nope, no, we don't dabble enough either. So let's talk about it. It's a Canadian whiskey, distilled in Canada. Key component: ex-ruby port, 91% corn, 8% rye, 1% barley. Proof on this is 124.6.
I like that.
Yeah. And a couple unique things. So it says aged 19 years on here, but it's actually a blend of 8 different Canadian whiskeys here. And I had to pull this up on have notes ready here. It's 3 19-year-old whiskeys, a 22-year-old, 3 23, and 1 26.
Wow. So yeah, obviously the age statement has to be the youngest whiskey in the bottle. So they have to legally say 19 years. But the fact that there's some 26-year-old whiskey in this, pretty good. And then I know you were able to find this bottle. What was the price on it?
$160 was MSRP for this. So
$160. I know the last batch of Found North and most of the Found North bottles were roughly like a yield of 2,000 bottles. And this one, maybe piggybacking off their success, was a little more than 6,000 bottles.
Yeah, so they actually say in the notes that it goes up to like 6,200, but you'll see some bottles in the 7,000s as though it's a little overrun. But yeah, so getting 7,000 bottles from a bunch of 19-year-old whiskeys, like
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Some
serious stock.
Yeah, just a couple quick notes here too. New American oak barrels, hogshead barrels, new ex-bourbon barrels, Hungarian oak. So different blends of oak finishes in this as well. So very curious about this one. As you can see, we did try a little bit about already, but
I'm gonna spill a little.
That's okay. But we had this open up for a few days now, so we're revisiting it, and we're gonna see a lot of hype around Found North, and to be honest, Caribou Crossing.
Yeah,
not my jam.
I said it to our guy Dougie Freshness, another bourbon bum. I haven't found a Canadian whiskey I like, so
yeah.
Hopefully, maybe this changes my mind.
You talk Crown Royal a little bit, but you get some of the flavor. It's not bad for mixing, but for a sipping whiskey, Canadian Caribou Crossing wasn't my jam to begin with. But let's see how Found North goes.
Yeah, straight off the nose. Same thing I had notes when we first had this. It smells like super sweet, like a sweet tart almost. For it being that old, not much oak there.
No,
but there is, because some of it is finished in
the ruby port. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of fruit and sweetness on this for sure.
So like cherry, strawberry.
They said the cornerstone of it is that 19-year-old whiskey that's finished in the ruby port.
So it's a fruity, sugary bomb.
Yeah,
I would think like a sweet tart or something like that.
Okay,
I like the smell.
Okay, first thing I have to train my brain in, it's not a bourbon.
It's not a bourbon, not a rye, not any of American.
Well, actually, I think it was.
Well, there is some rye.
It was a 19-year-old rye finished over in the port head. So.
Right. Man, I know there's a lot of corn, or it's corn heavy.
91%.
I get a lot of corn.
Yeah.
Like a buttered popcorn. I get the sweetness of this, the ruby port. There's a lot of interesting things there. I'm not sure they're all blending the right way or how I would want them to blend.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably the best Canadian whiskey I've had, but that's not really a high bar to begin with.
Yeah.
So, if you like a corn forward bourbon,
it's super sweet, super sweet, super corn forward.
Yeah,
I'm getting that on the second sip.
The fit, there's not really much of the finish on it. At least I'm not getting.
There's like a little, maybe there's like a little bit of the rye spice there. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of black pepper, a little bit of baking spice to the end of
But
it.
it's not. It definitely doesn't seem like it's an overly complex pour for me.
No,
Even though it's a blend of
the flavors are
different.
distinct. The buttered popcorn or just the corn forward, the sugary sweetness, fruitiness, and then the black pepper at the finish. But it just like it doesn't marry. They're like it's hitting me in like
Stages.
and
Yeah.
I don't know if it all blends all together
No,
all
it's.
that great.
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever had. It's not the best thing. So,
Yeah,
I think it's good for maybe a glass, and
something different.
yeah,
A lot of the times, when we do a lot of these reviews or we hang out together, we're specifically real bourbon heavy or sometimes we're really rye heavy. There's only so much of that you can do. When
right.
you're looking for something different, I wouldn't mind that. A lot of times we had this discussion with the Dram Lady, another one of our friends. The Bardstown Amaret finish.
Yep.
I liked it so much because it was different. It's something non-traditional.
Right.
And so is this. So I'll give it credit for that.
Yeah. I mean, this is batch 9. I never tried the first, 8 batches of it. So, this is my first foray into
Yeah.
thank you, into this Canadian whiskey with Found North. Grade, I'd probably give it maybe like a C minus.
Yeah, C minus. That's probably where I'm headed. A passing grade.
It's
but
passing,
just barely.
Yeah. I mean, because like I've never been too much of a heavy corn forward guy when it comes to my bourbons.
I know a lot of people are going to be like mellow corn. It's not. It's definitely a higher, classier step up from that kind of.
It does drink a little easy because it's the aged, whiskeys, but it's just just with the heavy corn on there and using the port finish with the. I mean, I guess you could probably say it's almost like a ultra aged Midwinter's Night Dram.
Yeah, maybe because of the port fin. I get that because of the wine finish on it. I would still probably prefer a Midwinter's Night Dram than that.
Yeah.
Because it's so corn heavy or corn
Yeah.
forward. So I'd rather just have it be a wine finished rye.
So it's a passing grade for the bums, but nothing that's going to
$165. And I saw it like I know Found North has a lot of hype. Secondary on it is kind of still up there.
Yep.
For $165, it's tough to be like, yeah, go run it out, and if you find it, buy it. But it would be good to try at a bar, or if a friend has a bottle.
I recommend you see it, try it first before you run out and get it. I know it's probably this came out maybe like 3-4 weeks ago. So it might be a little harder to find now. Maybe you find it at secondary at a local mom and pop, but definitely I would say try it first before you buy. See if you're a big fan of 19-year aged whiskeys. So Canadian whiskey.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our hot take review. We'll be back very soon with another Bourbon Bums review. We got some stuff we gotta pump out.
We gotta pump out a couple of videos. We might have to change a shirt and do a couple more of these.
So all right, guys, we'll catch you next time.
Cheers.
On Bourbon Bums.